back to episode 40 of the Tundra Cast, and today I'm joined by Shay,
How's it going, everybody?
and today we're going to be talking about our season predictions for the upcoming season. And I guess we'll jump right into it. Let's start off with the Pacific Division, going from last in the division to first. Last for me, I have the San Jose Sharks. Pretty obvious why. I mean, they don't really have goaltending. They have Aiden Hill. Um, there's just not much right with the team. Like I think like their forwards like Meyer and Hurdle can help the team a lot, but with that defense, like Burns is bad, Carlson hasn't been the same, and just that goaltending, I don't think they'll really do anything. And when it comes to other teams in the division, they're just the weakest team in the division, so I think they're gonna finish last.
All right, not bad. For me, eighth place I have Anaheim. And for me, Anaheim is just a bad team everywhere. They don't really have the best defense besides, Jamie Drysdale, who's going to enter his first full NHL season. Hampus Lindholm's still there. But Cam Fowler and Josh Manson need to stay healthy. Kevin Shattenkirk needs to be better than what he was last season. I mean, goaltending, John Gibson, in my opinion, is still elite, but he's just on a bad team. And honestly, I think they're going to trade him if you saw our hot takes video. Um, and they just got a lot of young kids, especially on the forward side of things. I mean, Rickard Rakell's still only 28. He's actually, I believe, he is a free agent next season. So, if Anaheim wants to continue stacking up on the prospects and picks, you trade probably your best player right now in Rickard Rakell in hopes of getting a lot back. He's only 28. He has a 30-goal season on his resume, so you can get a lot back for him. There's a lot of other young skill guys here too. Maxime Comtois had a great year last year. Can he replicate that in this season? Benoit Olivier Groux is going to play this year. Max Jones needs to show off some skill because he was drafted like 28th overall in 2016, so he has to step up. Mason Tavish is going to make the team. He was their third overall pick, and even Trevor Zegras, he's going to play this season. And I'm excited to see what Zegers can do in an 82-game season. So there's a lot of good young pieces here, but they're so far away from the playoffs. They're at least 3 years away. And it's just going to be an interesting storyline to see how well the kids do in Anaheim this year.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. For seventh, I have the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, what Shay said, I can say the only difference is I think John Gibson. I don't think he'll be traded till at at least at latest at the trade deadline if he's traded at all. Um, but I think he will be able to steal games for Anaheim, unlike Hill for San Jose. So that's why I have them seventh and not eighth.
Well, no, my seventh is actually San Jose. Um, I mean, if San Jose just had a decent defense and a decent goalie tandem, I'm not saying Aiden Hill's bad, but if they actually have like a good, like 60-game starter and a decent defense, honestly, they could be in contention for third place in the Pacific because that division's so bad. Like the forward's actually not that. It's actually pretty decent. Couture's a great player. Eklund's going to be a rookie this year. He's amazing. Hurdle's great. Evander Kane, a lot of stuff about him, but he's a good player. We'll leave it at that.
I regret my hot take. I regret it so much.
Oh man, Philip Bank, Matt Nieto, like Timo Meyer, they're good players. Even hell, Barabana was great for them last season. Just the defense sucks. Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson, um, not what they were once back then. Vlasic's so overpaid. He's like 34, making $8 million for 5 more years. Like the only two good defensemen is Mario Ferraro and Nikolai Knyazov. I know I butchered that pronunciation, but those are the two only decent defensemen. And I like the goalie. Like the goalie tandem's not bad in Aiden Hill, James Reimer. It's miles better than Martin Jones and whoever the hell they had last year, Joseph Konar. But like it's not good enough. And maybe Aiden Hill's the guy that they need for the future. He's only 25. But for right now, they're so far away from the playoffs, just like Anaheim. They need to do a proper rebuild. But the thing that's holding them back are these crappy contracts. So we'll see if they can actually rebuild properly. But I do not anticipate San Jose having a good season.
For number 6, I have this is going to be a bit odd since I said that they were going to make the playoffs on the hot takes. But when it comes to just the predictions, I just couldn't justify it in my predictions. So while I do still have the hot take that I think they'll make the playoffs, I also don't think they will.
Okay.
But anyways, it's odd, but number 6, I have the Seattle Kraken. When I made the hot take, that was before preseason. Preseason, I was left so unimpressed. It looked bad. I mean, at so many points, facing people who are just trying to get tested out with their basically full NHL squad, and it looked bad. And I still don't think Hackstall can do much with or anything. And yeah, I mean that's just about it. I mean Grubauer and Drieger are good. They have good pieces on the defense. They have some good pieces on the offense, but I just don't think that they can take a better spot from any team in the Pacific at all.
Yeah. All right, so my 6th place team is Calgary. Now, there's some things that I love about Calgary. I think I always have Flames fans tell me, "Oh, I hate the top 9. I hate our top 9." I'm actually I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan of Calgary's top 9. First of all, Mikhail Backlund's a good centerman. I love the Blake Coleman addition, even though that contract is very spotty. He's a good player. Dylan Dubé's really young. He has 40-point potential right there. Johnny Gaudreau, he's a UFA next year, so you should probably lock him down. But when he's on his game, he's one of the best players in the league. Elias Lindholm's incredibly underrated. Andrew Mangiapane might be my favorite player on the Flames. He's amazing defensively. He can get you 20 goals. He is so good. Sean Monahan might be a bit overrated, but he's still your second line center. And hell, even Matthew Tkachuk is might not be the most favorite of mine, but he's your first line left wing over Gaudreau, and he's had 70-point seasons under his belt. The thing that concerns me about Calgary is the defense. Chris Tanev and Noah Hanifin were great last season. They were spectacular, but it's with the loss of Mark Giordano that I think it's going to really hurt them. I get that he was 38, and he maybe wasn't his usual self last year. Of course he wasn't, but I think it's gonna leave not only a hole in the defense, but in the leadership side of things. Considering he was their captain and all, and they replaced him with Nikita Zadorov, who isn't very good, by the way. He gets like 20 penalties a game. He can't really do anything offensively or defensively. The only thing he can do is really hit people, and that's about it. And then he signed Eric DeBranson to a 1-year, $2 million deal.
To go.
And that just speaks for itself. Rasmus Andersson was horrendous defensively last year. He was not like his 1920 stuff at all. The defense is such a huge question mark for me for Calgary. Val Mackey needs to get the full-time spot. So should Oliver Shillington. And the goaltending is good. I think Jacob Markstrom was fine last season. The stats may not say it, but he was a good goalie for them last year. He's also entering the 30s, and now, and the thing of goalies is that they're very voodoo. You can be 32 years old, like Braden Holtby, and just completely suck now. Or you could be Mike Smith and be 40 years old and somehow be sixth place for the Vezina. They need Markstrom to stay healthy, and they need him to play well. If not, your two goalies are Dan Vladar, who is young, and he played fine with the Bruins, but he's only 24. He's coming to a new team. I don't know if you should put that much trust into him. And then you have Adam Werner. There's so many question marks with this team, and I don't like Daryl Sutter as a coach. I've seen this with Hitchcock, and I called it as soon as they hired Sutter. It's going to be Ken Hitchcock 2.0 because they play a boring duck and chase style of hockey, physical, whatever defense that doesn't belong in today's game, and it just doesn't work in today's game. And that's the main reason why I have Calgary at 6. They're a good team everywhere except for defense, but there's just so many question marks that just leaves me wanting more. I just think they got to blow it up. I've been saying this forever. They need to rebuild. I think this year a Calgary just drops down and they start to rebuild. Monahan's going to go. Gaudreau's going to leave. That's my prediction. The Flames finish 6th.
Well, once again, my fifth choice for fifth is the Calgary Flames. Um, I agree with almost everything you say about Calgary. I just think that they're a bit stronger than the other teams in the division. The three teams that I had said before. I think Markstrom had a bad season last year, and I think he'll have a bounce back season this year. I don't think he'll be super lights out like he was the year prior, but I think he'll be good enough to carry them a bit.
Yeah.
Elias Lindholm is amazing. They do have a lot of question marks on defense. Sutter is garbage.
Yeah.
But I think that they can pull some stuff out. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, no, but I think that they can do something.
Yeah. Fifth place. Is it fifth? Yeah, it is. Fifth place, I have the Canucks.
Okay, that's the first deviation we've had.
Speaking with the Canucks, they did make a trade. They traded their fifth overall bust in 2016, Olli Levy, to the Florida Panthers in exchange for Noah Juleson and Juho Lamako. Whatever trade. Juleson's a bust too, but that's whatever. Now Vancouver. They're very overrated. Let me tell you that right now. They are super overrated by everyone right now. Let's start off the forwards. Brock Besser, he's just your traditional sniper. Connor Garland is a good player. We'll see how he does with Vancouver. We'll see if his stint in Arizona wasn't just, a fit thing, but he's fine. Niels Höglander, he was a rookie last year. He should be way better this year. Bo Horvat's their captain. You got guys like Pearson, who's like a third liner. They're paying him a lot of money to be such. That's fine. Elias Pettersson, just signed not a huge deal, but just signed his RFA deal. JT Miller, Vasily Podkolzin. Like the top 9 here is relatively solid. It's just when you look at the defense, that's where you kind of chuckle a bit. Oliver Ekman-Larsson he's just not good anymore. He has not been good since like 2016, and he's getting paid. Well, he was getting paid 8.25 by Arizona, but now he's getting paid 7.15 by Vancouver, which is still a lot of money. And now they're going to play him with Tyler Myers, who also isn't very good and is also vastly overpaid. That's your first pair. That might be the worst first pair in the league, and I'm not exaggerating that. They suck defensively. They can't do anything offensively. They're just so bad. Then you got Quentin Hughes, who's amazing, but he can't play defense. And you're playing him Tucker Pullman, who was a 7th defenseman in Winnipeg, and now you're paying him $2.5 million. That's not good either. And now your third pair is going to be Jack Rathbone, who's a good young guy, and you're going to play him with Brad Hunt or Madison Bowie. Like, it's not a good defense. And they just put Travis Hamonic on waivers. Hamonic would be an upgrade over any of those guys. Like, the defense is so bad here. And Thatcher Demko, he's going to be a top 10 goalie. He will be. But, like, can he really carry the load for 60, 65 games? They do have Halak as a backup, but I don't know if I would trust that defense in front of them. And, you guys like Pettersson and Horvat are very injury prone. If both of them go down like they did last season, this team is screwed for. It's just like Calgary. There's a lot of question marks, but I just think Vancouver has the better offensive depth. They have a bit better goaltending to make me put them higher than the Flames, and they also have a better coach in Travis Green. But there's just a lot of question marks with the Canucks as well.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Moving on to number 4, I have the Vancouver Canucks. Only one reason I have them so high up: Thatcher Demko and Yaroslav Halak.
Yep.
We all know that goalies can make or break a team. And Thatcher Demko and Yaroslav Halak are very good.
Yeah, very.
We've seen goalies do very well behind worse teams than this, so it wouldn't surprise me if Demko and Halak can carry them to fourth. Now, they won't be making the playoffs, as no team out of the top three in the Pacific make the playoffs for me,
Yeah,
because
same.
the Pacific's just so bad. Um, but I think Demko and Halak can carry them to just that fourth place spot.
Yeah, that's fair. Fourth place, I have the Seattle Kraken. And I wouldn't. This one's tricky for me. So I've already stated my opinions on Dave Haxtell that he's not a very good head coach. But there are some things I like about the Seattle Kraken. I don't love their goalies. I like Philip Grubauer, but Chris Drieger really struggled during the preseason, and he's really giving me Scott Darling vibes right here. Hopefully I'm wrong. The defense is solid though. You got Gio, you got Adam Larson, Alexiak, Vince. So that's a very solid top four. You even have the Fleury brothers on the third pair. If you need to, you can play Susie, you can play Cholowski. Very, very solid. There's just not a lot up here on the offensive side of things. Basically, you got Eberle, Donskoy, Gord, McCann, and Schwartz if he can stay healthy. That's it.
You're forgetting one winger.
Am I?
Yeah.
Tanev?
No, you better respect him.
Hold up.
Yarncroak.
Oh yeah, Nashville's Kelly Yarncrow. But like a lot of these guys are second to third liners on teams. Like Mason Appleton, he's a good player, right? He's ideally a third liner. Ryan Donato, he's mostly a bottom six guy. Donskoy, he's very good. He's mostly a third liner. Jordan Eberle, on a contender. He'd be on your second line. You're gonna play him first line. Yanni Gord, same thing. He's probably ideally a second line center. Same goes for McCann, Schwartz. Like Wenberg might be a third liner. Like, they don't have any real offensive weapons up front. There's a lot of good pieces, but they're going to be playing places in the lineup where they shouldn't be. And if they can upgrade, I mean, they do have Matthew Beniers coming up, not this season, but next season. Like they're gonna draft forwards, of course, in the upcoming years. So I'm not too worried about it just yet. But I do think that they'll do fine in their first season, especially since it's the Pacific Division.
Is the opposite of fine.
It's the opposite of fine. I have the Kraken fourth. I wouldn't say they barely missed the playoffs. I think they missed it by like 7-8 points. And, I think they'll use a couple of these guys as trade pieces, like I stated in my hot takes, Chris Drieger. I'm going to have a fun time watching the Kraken, especially on Tuesday. I think they're going to do well, just, of course, not Vegas will. So I have them barely missing the playoffs.
All right, I can see that. For number 3, I have the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings had a very good offseason, acquiring Victor Arvidsson. They acquired Victor Arvidsson. They got Pizza Man himself. They made some upgrades in the offseason, and that's, most important. Obviously, Kopitar's the first-line center. Pizza Man gets number 2. And, from then on, it's just set. Obviously, there are big question marks for LA, like Dustin Brown and Drew Doughty. They were playing so far over their heads last season. If it continues, then good. If it doesn't, then very bad. But Cal Peterson is very good. And if the defense falters, he can carry them. And if the defense doesn't falter, then that's even better. But I think the Kings are ready to pounce on this weak Pacific Division.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have LA third. You basically stole my points. They added a lot. Also, their young kids are going to make a big impact. Quentin Byfield, in my opinion, he's going to win the Calder this year. Rasmus Kupari, Gabe Velarde. And I don't think the defense is as bad as people are making out to be. I like Matt Roy. I love Sean Walker. Mikey Anderson's fine. Tobias Bjornfot's okay. And hell, if they can recall Turcotte during the season, that just makes them a lot better. So I agree. I have LA third. They're going to be a very fun team to watch. I don't think they make it far into the playoffs, of course, but I think the Kings are so close to being back onto the contender route like they were in 2012 and 2014.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, right? I can see it. It's like I agree with most of your points. I basically just said the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
For number 2, I have the Edmonton Oilers. I've stated my opinions on the Edmonton Oilers time and time again. But I will say this: in the regular season, only thing that really matters is offense. So they'll obviously finish second. Postseason will probably go awry like it did, last postseason.
Hmm.
We don't need to talk about that.
We don't need to talk about that postseason yet.
Yeah, you're begging me not to. But I think McDavid, the usual suspects will just carry Edmonton in the
Yeah.
regular season.
Yeah, I have them second as well. Basically, what you said. Um, I don't want to be biased, but I do think do have one of the best depths in the league now. I mean, Hyman helps out. Warren Fogle really helps out. Ryan McLeod and Tyler Benson have made the team. Derek Ryan has been at third line center that Edmonton has needed forever. Brendan Perlini, albeit it's been preseason, he's looked fine. So the depth does look a lot better in Edmonton, which is what they've needed for quite some time. The defense is very concerning. Darnell Nurse, I mean, he is their top defenseman by far. Tyson Berry, he just needs to do something defensively. And honestly, he actually hasn't been that bad during the preseason. We'll see what he does during the actual season, but he hasn't been that bad. Like Evan Bouchard, he's your rookie, third pair. The most concerning place for the Oilers is that second pair of Duncan Keith and Cody Ceci. That's going to be an adventure to say the least. And all they got to do is just be subpar. If they're subpar defensively, the defense should be fine for the regular season at least. Now, if they're atrocious, the Oilers better want to make a move at the deadline for defensemen. But when we get there, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Goaltending wise, honestly, goaltending hasn't been that big of a problem during the preseason as well. Mike Smith was great. Mikko Koskinen actually stopped only letting 3 goals this entire preseason, which is awesome to see. And Stuart Skinner is so close to claiming that backup spot. I think there was at times where I thought he outplayed both goaltenders. He was that good. And he's certainly going to be on the NHL roster next season. I think next season it's going to be Skinner and one of Smith or Konovalov as the backup. That's my prediction for next season. But, Edmonton just needs to hope that Mike Smith doesn't get injured and falters. And they just got to hope the defense stays strong. But they're easily the second best team in this division. It just matters that they make it to the second round, which I think they will. And I think they'll lose to the first place team in this division, which
is Vegas.
Which is Vegas, yeah.
So Vegas, we don't need to really say anything. They had contrary to popular belief, they had a good off season. Now I know Fleury's great and everything, but $7 million, no.
No.
You have Leonard, so $7 million. You could have just done a Coyotes traded him for nothing like they did. It doesn't matter because you have Leonard. You had 2 Vezina goalies, one worth $5 million who's younger, one worth $7 million. You know who to go with if you're smart, and that's what Vegas did. Of course, Vegas fans threw a fit like they always do. But anyways, you don't need to say much about Vegas. They're clearly the best team in the division, arguably one of the best teams in the NHL. Their path this season will be pretty easy. The only question marks for this team is, does the defense get their shit together?
You gotta hope so.
And that's about it for the Pacific, unless you want to add anything about Vegas. There's not much
to say about them. That's really it.
Yeah.
They just need a first line center, honestly, and they probably win the cup.
Yeah.
All right, Central. I will actually start it off this time.
All right.
So in 8th place, surprise, we got the Arizona Coyotes. There really isn't much to say. They have Andrew Ladd and Louis Eriksson and Jay Beagle and Antoine Roussel in their bottom 6.
Their starting goalie is Carter Hutton.
Who's your backup? It's some weird guy.
I don't know.
What up? I actually want to say this guy's name. It's Karl Vichamelka. I think he's an ex-Pred draft pick. Hold up.
What?
Karl Vichamelka was drafted in 2015, 5th round by Nashville.
I didn't even fucking know. Um,
So yeah, there you go.
yeah, there's not much to say about Arizona. They're also eighth for me.
Suck. They're bad.
They're literally just building for the future. That's
Yeah.
it. They're trading everything for nothing.
Yep.
Or they're trading. They literally are trading. They were the masters of trading someone for literally nothing.
And that's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here
and
we
I
go.
don't I don't know if that's as funny as like in baseball when players get traded for literally $1. But
Jeez.
yeah, it happens. But Arizona is literally bulking up on picks and stuff. They clearly
Yeah.
want to build. Whether Austin Matthews is part of that future or not, at this point, it seems like they're just building for something, and
Yeah.
that's the future. Um,
Um.
you can go ahead and take seventh first.
Seventh.
Yep.
Maybe kind of shocking. I got Chicago. Um.
Okay.
I don't know why the Hawks think they're ready to contend again. I don't think they really are.
I think they
Um.
think that because they have Flurry.
Of course. But like, there's still. I know I've been saying this a lot, but there's a lot of things I like about Chicago. Curry, Dog's healthy. Taves is healthy. Those are two tremendous boosts from last season to help you out. But man, I don't know. Seth Jones, first pair. I don't think that's ideal.
He's
I
so good though.
Oh yeah, 9.5 mil good.
Yeah, he's getting paid more than Roman Yossi.
He's getting paid more than freaking Alex Petrangelo.
He's, he's
Yeah,
getting paid more than Kel McCarr. Okay, we can stop this. It
but
go
yeah,
on forever.
yeah, just bad player. And I mean Fleury. I mean, everyone loves Marc-Andre Fleury. Who doesn't? And Kevin Lankton's going to be fine as the backup. But I just don't know, man. I just don't like. There's some things about this team that I'm not a fan of as well. I mean, Alex Nylander's kind of a bust now. Dylan Strome has been great. Adam Gaudette needs to really step up, and I just think that they really need to rebuild.
I get what you're saying. They're not a playoff team.
Yeah.
Even with Fleury, which kind
Yeah.
of goes against what I said earlier about Demko and Halak, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
My seventh, surprise, surprise, is the St. Louis Blues.
Shittington.
Usual suspects. Jordan Binnington is ass. Their defense, it got worse over the offseason.
Way worse.
Nothing even got better. It just all got worse. I mean,
everything got worse. Besides the forwards, they did get Buchnevich.
Yeah, you get Buchnevich, you get Tarasenko back. I mean, but there's not much else.
Yeah.
Binnington isn't good.
Yeah, he's just terrible.
So,
all right.
Like, there's nothing to say. So for sixth,
I'm sorry, buddy, but I got Nashville. Man, there's just. I mean, first of all, let me say this. I love the defense. I love the goaltending. I love UC Saros. And I adore you, Roman Yossi, Matthias Ekholm, Dante Fabro, and my boy Matt Benning. Hell, Alexander Carey is a really good defenseman. No, most people don't recognize that. Yeah. And they got Felipe Myers. That's a good defense. Yeah. It's just there's nothing offensively besides Philip Forsberg, Mikhail Granlund, and maybe Cody Glass.
And
Tovinen. Like, Tomasino will be up, and hopefully that can provide a spark. Kunin was fine last season, but they really need Johansson and Duchesne to really do something. They're getting paid $8 million. We discussed this a billion times. They got to do something. And I just think that with Baldman as the head coach, this team kind of needs to change a bit. So I just see them falling out of the playoffs. Just barely, by the way, because I have 5 Central teams making it in. So I have them like 2 points out of the playoffs, honestly. Like, they could easily squeak in, but for me, they just need to add more offensively, which I don't get why they traded Victor Arvidsson for. But I mean, that's another story. But yeah, I just so trust Baldman and just nothing up front here, scoring wise.
You know what? I can kind of agree. I mean, obviously, I'm going to make counterpoints when I bring up Nashville, but for now, I agree. For me, number 6, I have Chicago. Basically, the entirety of what you said. So there's not much that needs to go on with that. So I guess we can just move to 5.
Okay, so 5, I got the St. Louis Blues. Basically, all my points were taken up by Rossi. One point actually I'm going to make is that I think Jake Neighbors is going to make a great addition to that forward group. Played for the Edmonton Oilers Kings. I loved him here. He is such a tenacious guy. That forward group in St. Louis is actually so good. It's a damn good forward group. It's just the defense and the goaltending sucks. Yeah, there's I'm worried about Binnington because he's kind of garbage ever since the Cup run, and Ville Husso is kind of garbage too. And
I
Justin,
think I think you're delusional that you think that fucking Bennington and the Blues can make it farther, like a higher in the standings than fucking Saros and the Predators. It all comes down to goalies, and you have Bennington above Saros. So you nuts. For me, 5th, I have the Nashville Predators. They will be the second wildcard team for me. I can kind of agree with what Shay said. Obviously, we have great goaltending and Saros, and I don't want to talk about it. Defense, you have. I don't need to say much. You have Carrier, Yossi, Meyer, Ekholm, Fabro, Benning, Boriecki. I can keep going. Uh, you know, Offense, obviously, we've never been known for offense. Duchesne and Johansson need to step up. Forsberg is brilliant as always. Cunnin, good. Tolvanen, good. You got Cody Glass, Nick Cousins, Colton Sissons, Tanner Jeannot, Matthew Olivier. So you have some things on the offense. Now, whether or not they what happens is a lot of offense or not, I'm going to say this. The Predators will be wild card 2 because we look the same every year. Great goaltending, great defense, meh offense. Maybe a little bit under meh offense. We have marched way worse teams to the playoffs because of goaltending. So that's why I have them as wild card 2.
okay, that's fair. 4th, I'm just gonna hurry up a bit here. 4th, I have the Dallas Stars. Last season, they were missing Sagan and Radulov and Pavelski basically for the entire years. Not Pavelski, but I mean, like, also Rupe Hintz was like every other game. They just had a lot of injuries, and this year they're gonna get all those guys back. Robertson's a year older, who was second in the calendar. Defense is great as always. They have they have 4 NHL goalies, but I would argue 3 since Bishop is hurt. Um, they'll rebound. They're a lock for the playoffs for me. I had them at 4th. Oh, I also love the Ryan Suter edition, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, I have them as 4th also. I mean, the only thing I was really gonna say is while they were missing a couple pieces last year, Nashville was missing way more.
Yeah. Everyone was injured.
Yeah, it was an actual thing where we had no player not be on the injured list at least once last season. But anyways, my main thing is last year we all know the story with Dallas was how awful they were in overtime and shootout.
Oh yeah, 14 OTLs.
I think that they can get that together, and I think that's what'll help them. If they can minimize overtime losses, if you're gonna lose a game, lose it in overtime. But you never want to lose a game, and you lost too many in overtime.
Yeah.
So I have them finishing 4th.
Yeah. Number 3, I've got the Minnesota Wild. Thankfully they re-signed Kirill Kaprizov, otherwise they'd be much lower on my list. But they brought him back, so they're 3rd. They also have Matthew Boldy coming up this season. He's going to be a great rookie. They also added Rem Pitlick. Sorry, buddy. 24 years old. Hopefully,
I'm
Hopefully he can make a he
I'm
can
sorry to
provide
every
a spark.
viewer who I just murdered their ears.
Yeah, rip headphone users.
You're gonna have to put a warning in like right before it happens.
Sure. Defense is great as always. Jared Spurgeon, Matt Dunn, Brodeen, Goligoski, solid top four. You got Kulikov and Ben as your third pair, and then you got Merritt Scratch, and then Kapanen, and Talbot. It's basically the same team, just with the addition of Matt Boldy. They'll finish third. I don't have any worries for the Minnesota Wild.
For third, I have the Winnipeg Jets. They have Hellebuck. I don't know. It's just like they have the pieces, but I don't think that they finish above Minnesota or Colorado.
Second, I have the Winnipeg Jets. They've improved. I mean, you're just hoping Dubois bounces back. I mean, I love Nikolai Ehlers. Cole Perfetti should be up full time this year. I love Cole Perfetti, of course. They did upgrade the defense slightly of Dylan and Schmidt. The thing is, they're not really. Schmidt's not really a defensive defenseman. He's more of an offensive defenseman. Dylan is fine, but it's going to be the same old story. Hellebuck outbilling them. Let's see what the new improved defense can do, and maybe Perfetti makes a run at the Calder. So yeah, Winnipeg's at second. That's really about it.
Yeah, for second, I have Minnesota. I mean, it's the same thing Shea said, but I have them finishing second because I trust their core more than I trust Winnipeg's core.
Mm-hmm. First place, surprise, Colorado. What else is there to say? They're not as deep as they were last season. They've lost a lot of pieces like Saad and Donskoy and a couple others.
They did upgrade massively at goaltender, though.
Would I say I wouldn't argue massively.
I mean, Kemper these past 2 years has been unreal.
You know what? Here's my hot take. He's going to do worse than Grubauer.
What?
Kemper was playing under Rick Tocchet in Arizona.
In Arizona, where they have no defense besides Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
It's the system. It's the system.
You mean
Antti Raanta was an all-star in Arizona.
You mean the defensive system of Rick Tocchet that literally somehow made Phil Kessel his best friend, and Phil Kessel can't play defense?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
He turned Antti Raanta into an all-star.
Antti Raanta was good before.
Well, guess what?
Kemper was good before.
Was Kemper really that good before?
Yes, look at his season with the Kings.
.9322 points. That's in 19 games, bud. I'm talking about like as a full-fledged starter.
Oh, now so we can think Jack Campbell is all that after friggin' 20
He isn't. Campbell's going to regress.
All right, well.
Look, after he went to Arizona, 3.22, .899. Last season, 2.56, .907. It was virtually the same team from 1920. I'm sorry, no, I think Kemper's a good goalie, but I think he's a product of Rick Tocchet's system. If you want to argue improvement, sure, but it's not a massive improvement. I do like your defense, though, besides Jack Johnson. And they need a bit more forward depth since they lost Sada Doddsworth, but I do like Alex Newhook. So they've gotten worse. They've got it a bit worse last season, but they're still good, but they'll choke in the second round again.
I mean, yeah, I just think Colorado is good. They're obviously going to finish first.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's not much to say besides what you said.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm smart. 8th place in the Atlantic. Do we really have to say this, or is it just kind of obvious? It's kind of obvious at this point.
8th place, Tampa Bay.
Agree.
It's Tampa Bay. The reason why is I don't know, but for real, 8th place, Buffalo. You don't have to say anything about them. They're a mess.
Yep, we did an entire podcast on them like 6 months ago. Maybe we got to do another one soon.
Yeah, it's gotten worse.
Gotten way worse.
I have a big project planned. I think Shea will be helping me with it. It's going to be a huge project talking about Jack Eichel.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, there's really not much to say about Buffalo. It's bad.
Yep.
So my seventh, I have Montreal.
Okay.
A lot of downgrades in the off season. They're going to be without Carey Price for a bit. I hope Carey Price gets better. Mental health is always most important. Mental health is always, a very serious issue, and glad that Carey Price, went into the help thing. He took the first steps that he needs, and it lets other people get rid of. It helps get rid of the stigma when a great goaltender, like Robin Leonard, when a great goaltender can open up about their mental health and stuff.
Yeah.
I hope Carey Price gets better, and it's important for him to get better. But when it comes to the Canadians in general, it doesn't look good. They downgrades everywhere. Um,
Yeah,
you're gonna have Allen carrying the goaltending load until Price comes back, and I don't trust Allen.
Yeah. Okay, now my seventh place team is kind of repetition, but I got the Detroit Red Wings at number 7. They're gonna make some strides this year. Moritz Seider is going to be up here full time. I'm a big fan of his. He's been so hyped up. Alex Nedeljkovic, I don't know why Carolina traded him. Carolina did trade him. They'd be higher in my season predictions, by the way. We'll get to that a bit later. But yeah, the future's bright in Detroit. Jacob Vrana is hurt though for the first 4 to 6 months, so hopefully he heals quick for them. It's just the same old story of Detroit. Just keep on rebuilding with the young kids, and you'll be fine. There's not much to say here.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, when it comes to sixth, I have Detroit. I like them more than than Montreal and Buffalo. They improved a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if Yzerman is going to be too happy about them finishing sixth, since he is tank master. But who knows? They'll finish sixth and somehow get the number 2 overall pick. But yeah, that's about it. That's it for my sixth place team.
6, I have Montreal. Basically, you said they just had a crap off season. I hate Mike Hoffman, by the way. He is not a very good player. He's a Tyson Barrie of forwards. He can't play defense, and he's a power play specialist. Funny enough, Barrie and Hoffman got the exact same contract, so that's kind of funny. I mean, Dvorak, is he better than Kotkaniemi? Yes, but in the future, probably not. And yeah, the loss of Carey's gonna hurt. Hopefully, like you said, he feels better. Mental health first thing. I mean, they're not gonna have Shea Weber either. By the way, like that defense is terrible. That is bad defense. But Petrie, Savard, and Romanov, and that's it. And Niku's kind of trash. Sherrod sucks. Edmonton sucks. Kaden Guhle, who's one of their prospects, by the way, he kind of sucks. I've been trying to tell Habs fans this forever. He's terrible. Yeah, I just don't see Montreal doing well this season. Even if they had Carey Price and Shea Weber, I just don't think they make it either way. It's just not a really good team. And the reason why they made it far in the playoffs is because Toronto choked like they always did. Winnipeg is bad, and they actually played Vegas well, and Vegas is just the masters of choking in the playoffs. So yeah, I just don't see Montreal doing anything in the season.
Yeah. For number 6 or for number 5.
Excuse me, yeah.
I have Ottawa. They look a lot better than they did last year. Doesn't need to say much. The only reason I have them finishing so low is because obviously every single team in front of them is better, and their goalie situation is not the best because you have Matt Murray.
Oh wow! Wait, did they send down Philip Gustafson? That one's shocking to me. I thought Gustafson was still up with the club. But yeah, 5th place I have Ottawa too. Exact same things like you said. Last year they weren't that bad, honestly. If they didn't go in that 1-9 start, Honestly, they're right up there for the fourth place in the North. They're that close to kind of actually make it. That's what people don't realize, actually. People need to give Ottawa more credit in that regard. But yeah, a lot of their young kids are coming up. Jake Sanderson, I love. Jacob Bernard-Doco will be up. Shane Pinto's first full NHL season. There is, like I said, just a lot of stuff to like about the Sens. I think they won't make the playoffs this year, of course, but I think they'll make it next year. Just one more step in that rebuilding plan. And Drake Babson was great last year. I think he can hit 30 goals soon. So yeah, I have Ottawa at fifth place.
Yeah, we agreed there.
Yep.
Number 4, the wild card 2 team. I have the Florida Panthers. They improved a lot on offense, defense, goaltending is Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
But I think the offense and defense can carry them and the dead carcass known as Bobrovsky. So yeah, that's about it. They're the wild card 2 team.
For me, fourth place is Boston. Not in a wild card spot, which means I have 5 in the Metro.
That's interesting.
Yep. Fourth place.
Let me see.
For Boston, I don't like their team at all. They have no. Well, who's their second line center after Krejci left? Charlie Coyle. Like he's not a second line center. And like I mean, yeah, you have the perfection line.
is, I think, or something. I think they got Eric Howell.
Fred's legend, but like
Fred's
there's not.
Legend, no.
I mean, you have the perfection line, but besides that, what Taylor Hall's supposed to play with Charlie Coyle and Jake DeBrusk on that second line? Like that's not going to help your team. It's the bottom 9 needs to get way better because it's not a great bottom 9 at all. Defense is not that great either. Honestly, they have McAvoy, they have Carlo, and that's about it. And defense, goaltending. I like Olmark. I've stated my page on Olmark in the past. I love Linus Olmark. And I explained what's going to be great as the backup. But behind a meh defense and in a very mid bottom 9, I don't like them. I think this year they missed the playoffs. And that's about it.
I can see that, to be honest. For third place, I have Toronto. It's par for the course. They're going to make the playoffs. What's also par for the course is they're not going to make the second round. They upgraded very, very well on goaltending. Anderson is Anderson.
Yeah.
Then now they have Mrazek, and of course Leafs fans will want Campbell to start, but no, I think Mrazek should be the starter.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. They have the talent to make the playoffs. Everyone knows that the regular season is more about talent. The postseason is not. So talent will always carry in the regular season. So I have Toronto finishing third.
I also have Toronto third. To me, they kind of got worse over the offseason besides the goaltending. Defense stayed the same, but, I mean, Nick Ritchie replaces Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman's a better player. Andre Koska, he needs to stay healthy. Michael Bunting is he was on a 27% shooting percentage last season. That ain't happening again. The forward core got worse from last season by far, and it's still the same. Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, they got to carry it, but I just don't know if the replacements are as good as the guys that left. I think Zach Hyman's could be someone that kind of hurts them. No, he was a big impact for them. I just don't think they're as good as people are making them out to be. The defense is still the same. They are fine defensively, goaltending improved, but they got worse scoring wise. And the biggest problem last postseason for them was not scoring enough. So that's why I think they finished third. They're still a decent team, but I think my other 2 teams ahead of them are way better.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, Toronto first round exit.
Yep.
For second, I have Boston. Basically, I mean, I agree with what you said about Boston. The only thing is I think Allmark can carry.
Yeah.
And obviously, Boston still has the pieces to do what they need to do. So that's about it, really.
Second, Oh wait, do you have? Let me guess. You have Boston being Toronto in 7 again.
No, I don't have that. Um,
That'd be
but
hilarious.
if that does happen, then every viewer watching, I promise, we will not have the Leafs fans make like 30 videos on it.
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll stop them this
Yeah,
time.
last season it got out of control. Well,
Like
not.
there's like a video, like 2 videos every day.
They had one for Frederick Anderson, who's not even good. Jesus, man.
All
Like,
right,
Pekka Rinne retires, the best player in Nashville Predators history. He
history.
retires. I don't even make a fucking video. Frederick Anderson goes, and he's just like.
I'm so sad. I'm depressed.
But enough about the resident punching bags of the Leaves.
Yeah. Second place, I have the fourth top Panthers. Very deep offensively. I think Anton Lundell and Grigor Denisenko are going to be massive to that forward core, which was already good last season. Defense, Aaron Ekblad is now healthy. They added Ulavy. Uyghur's going to continue to have a strong season, and Spencer Knight is here full time. The Panthers are a damn good team. It's just the first place team is damn good as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and they also have one of the best coaches in the league in Coach Keith, so that helps.
I can agree with what you said. The reason I had them so low is because I don't like Bobrovsky. I think he sucks. He's massively overpaid, and I think they're going to try to force him as the starter, which it's not forcing him as the starter. If you're smart, Florida, you will have Knight as the backup. He needs time to cook.
Yep. Oh, also, make sure Jumbo Joe gets his cup.
Yeah, no.
What?
I'm only saying that because obviously I want to see my team win the cup. So it's like I'm not going to wish anyone luck. But
wow.
Obviously I know Nashville isn't going to. They probably aren't even going to make the playoffs. We're going to trade everyone. I'm going to fucking die. Anyways, first place.
It's Tampa.
Do we even need to say anything about Tampa?
Not really. It's just Tampa Bay.
Google Tampa Bay Lightning, and then you'll find out. Anyways.
Basically, they lost. People are gonna say, "Oh, they lost the line in Coleman, Johnson, and what's his face, Gord." Yeah, they're still damn good. They got rookies coming up. No, they're good. They're a good team.
Yeah,
they're gonna.
We don't need.
No, ain't Tampa. They're gonna cup again.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. Metro 8th. I can hear myself through you. Metro 8th. I have the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Shocker.
Nothing really needs to be said.
They just suck.
The coach is bad.
I wouldn't say the coach is bad.
Bruh.
Well, it's his first season as a coach. You're just gonna be like, oh yeah, he sucks already.
I mean, to be fair, he's bad because he's inexperienced. That's what I'm meaning.
But all coaches start off inexperienced.
Yeah, but it's like,
What?
It's Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Columbus. There's not much success in the coaching department except Tortorella.
I mean, Merzlikins is good, and their defense is okay.
Yeah, I agree, but yeah, I don't know. I have them last.
I mean, Chinakhov and Sillinger are. By the way, I have Columbus too. Like, there's still they still have good pieces here. Like, Bjorkstrand's good. Chinakhov and Sillinger are rookies. I'm high on both. Line can't be a Line. Voracek should bring some veteran presence. Rostovich could continue to do what he did last year. There's some good players. It's just that the rest of the Metro is so good, and Columbus is just in rebuilding mode. That's really about it.
Yeah, it's time to rebuild. I will say this, Merzlikins, I hope you put on a clinic this year. I hope you do insanely well. For
Finish his Corpus Salvo.
Yeah, I hope you do insanely well, Merzlikins, for Kinsvalekis.
Yeah.
I just don't think Columbus will do well in the standings.
Probably not.
For number 7, I have New Jersey.
Okay.
Pretty simple why. It's basically they got a bit better. Obviously, they got Dougie Hamilton. My main thing is they're still very young, so I think it'll still be a learning year. I don't think they're quite ready to make that plunge. That's about it.
For me, there's 7 great teams in the Metro, and I have New Jersey as one of them. But I do think they finish 7th. I think they get around 88 points. The Metro's that good, man. Brat's a great player. Jack Hughes is ready to take that next step up. They're going to have Nico healthy, Holtz and Mercer entering the lineup. Sharon Govich had a great rookie year. They've added Tomas Tatar. The defense still needs a bit of work. Dougie Hamilton's great. Ty Smith is good, but you still need other pieces around that. They also have Ryan Graves. And they have a great goalie duo in Mackenzie Blackwood and John Burney. It's a good team, just not enough to make the playoffs in the Metro, sadly. So, yeah, New Jersey 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. We both have the same thing. Now, this is going to be my favorite team to talk about.
I think do we have the same teams here? That's my question.
It's a brass bonanza, boys.
Yep, same teams.
It's a brass bonanza. And let me say this. Carolina, you had 5 minutes. 5 minutes, all right? You barely beat Nashville. And you wanted to strut around like you just swept Tampa. And all I gotta say is maybe adding a racist to your team isn't that good of an idea. Maybe trading away your goalies isn't good. There's not much else to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I have Carolina 6-2. They have a great. There's one thing about Carolina that is good though. Their forward court, it's outstanding. I mean, Aho, Jarvis, Kotkaniemi, Natchez, Niederreiter, Jordan Stahl, Svechnikov, Trocheck, Teravainen. That's a great top 9. Just the rest of the team kind of sucks. The goaltending, you got 2 Band-Aids in the net, and Frederick Anderson and Antti Ranta.
Jesus.
Antti Ranta and Frederick Anderson, 2 bums and oldies and Band-Aids. And your defense might not be the greatest either. Jacob Slavin is great.
Yep.
Brett Pesce is great.
Yep.
But you also have Jake Garner, who's from Toronto, so lol. You got Tony DeAngelo, who's a racist.
Racism. Okay, stop.
Ian Cole, which okay. And then you trade for Ethan Bear, which is actually a good trade. I love Ethan Bear, but now you're playing him on the third pair.
They're gonna play him on the second pair with Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah, play the racist with the guy that was throwing racial remarks at. Oh yeah, good job, Carolina. I hate your team. Screw your fan base.
Someone's on my side with
the defense sucks. The goaltending sucks. I hate you guys. 6th place.
I agree. Screw you, Carolina. Your spoiled fan base. How is the Pred meme? How is continuing to make banner memes when you guys made a banner for the COVID season?
True.
In 5th, I have the Flyers. Ooh. I don't think they make the playoffs. They made some very good acquisitions. But I just think Carter Hart lags again. I think he just lags behind again, and I think it's gonna cost them. But that's really about it. I mean, they're good. They're very good everywhere, but I just think it's just something that happens, and it's gonna hinder them because Carter Hart's not gonna be the best, and they missed the playoffs because I have Florida as the wild card too.
5th place with a wild card too. I got the New York Rangers. First off, speaking with the Rangers, that Zibanejad contract sucks.
Oh, I disagree.
8 times 8.5. That's bad. He's gonna be 37 when that expires, sir.
Who cares?
He sucks.
No, he doesn't.
He can't play defense to save his life.
They don't need him to play defense.
He plays with Artemi Panarin, and he got 41 goals in 56 games. That's not even possible.
I disagree.
Okay, but besides that, it's a good. It's time for the Rangers to take that next step in their rebuilding phase. Kaapo Kakko is in his 3rd year. He has to do something. Krasov's gonna be a full rookie year this year. Lafreniere should do better than last season. Artemi Panarin is Artemi Panarin. Ryan Strome should do well. Kreider's a great player. Their defense, they got the Norris winner. They got Condre Miller, who's a stud. Trouba, even though he's very overpaid, still a fine second pair defenseman. Niels Lundqvist is a great defenseman, and they have 2 good goalies, and Shesterkin and Georgiev. This is the year they're going to take the next step. I think they make the playoffs with the WC too.
Yeah. Number 5. Right, number 5 is it number 4?
Yes.
No, number
4.
Yeah, number 4. I have the Penguins. They're gonna be the wild card 1. The reason I have the Penguins making it, is not so much because of what they have.
It's what they don't have.
It's what they don't have. But the thing is when it comes to the Penguins and the Capitals and teams like them, they don't go away. They can look terrible on paper, but they don't go away.
Yep. That's what we say every year. Why can't the Penguins just stop being good?
Yeah. I mean, good
Oh.
is a stretch, but yeah, fourth for you.
I have the other Pennsylvania team, the Philly Flyers. Every other year they miss playoffs, then they make the playoffs, and that trend continues this year. And I love the additions they made. Besides Rasmus Ristolainen, who is very, very bad, but I love the Cam Atkinson.
Flyers fans are gonna cry in the comments.
Oh yeah, I did like that video I did. I like the Atkinson trade. I love Ryan Ellis. Yeah, there you go. You can cry.
Anyways,
Cam York will be up full time this year, and even though they signed Martin Jones, I think Carter Hart rebounds. He was back with his trainer this year in Edmonton with Justin Schwartz, who's a great goalie coach. I think they rebound. That's it. I think last year was an anomaly.
Oh my god! I swear to God, if Ingram gets claimed, I'm gonna jump out a fucking window.
3.
Third. Third, I have the New York Rangers. Obviously, they improved a lot, and I think this is the time Shesterkin carries them. Basically, what Shea said, they made a massive improvement in terms of coaching. They just look good. If Panarin and Zibanejad can play like I know they can, they don't really need anyone else to help carry the load. If they can get Shesterkin, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Fox to do what they do, and that's just really it.
Number 3, I have Schittsburg.
Oh no.
I mean, they're
they don't go away. They just
exactly. That's the major reason I have them at 3. Also, because Sidney Crosby is still Sidney Crosby. Malkin might have taken a dip, but he's still fine. He's still okay.
Mr. Overrated, Jake Gensel.
Yes, sir, him. But their forward core is still good. It's about the same as last season, but it's still good. It's still I would say top 10 in the league. Defense really needs to change because Letang kind of sucks now. Mike Matheson sucks. Brian Dillon's good. Pierre Joseph and Marcus Pettersson are 2 young guys. You just really need to fix that defense because your 2 goalies are Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith, and they have some guy named Alex Oreo. Yeah, the goaltending is very spotty, but it's the Penguins, so they would not go away.
Yeah, that goes with my team who finishes second, the Capitals.
Yeah, that's mine too.
They don't go away. You know what? It's not even just a Penguins thing. It's not like they just don't go away.
It's a Metro thing.
This Capitals team is good, and you know why? Goaltending. They have Samsonov and Vanacek.
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's all we really need to talk about because goaltending, in the end, carries teams to different levels that they should not be at. And you know what? They have Ovechkin. They have Kuznetsov, maybe.
Kuznetsov sucks, but okay.
He was good before cocaine.
Okay.
They have but they have what they need, so they'll finish second.
Same reason as you, basically. One thing I'm interested to see though is Ovi. You signed that 5-year contract at $9.5 million, which isn't the best contract, even though I love Ovi. But
I think that was a point where you just got to give him that because he is Ovechkin. So
yeah, historical legacy, and hopefully he breaks like Wayne Gretzky's record, man. I actually wish he does it. It's gonna be a fun story to watch.
Yeah, and to anybody who says, "Oh, I don't want Wayne Gretzky's records to be broken," records are made to be broken.
Yep. Yeah, that's it about the Capitals. Their team, I don't think anything has changed for the Capitals. I'm looking at their roster. I don't see one new face.
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact same team from last season. That's it.
Ovechkin's going to shave just to prove you wrong. He's going to shave his beard.
He's going to shave. Oh, who's this guy? Oh, wait, it's Ovechkin. Just not with his beard. Number 1, I got the Isles. You got the Isles.
Yeah, don't need to say much. They're the Isles. They got better.
Yeah, they got way better.
Yeah, they got way better. And we're kind of eating our words from when we made that Islanders video.
Yeah, I know, right? We didn't really say, the Isles are so screwed. Yeah, never mind.
You know what? They still might be screwed when it comes time to pay the young guys.
Doesn't Barzell's contract end in 2 years? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but for now, before the, before paying comes up.
They're very good. They're deep.
Yeah, they're good. They're gonna make another playoff run, and they might be the team in the East that will dethrone Tampa.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. They've almost done it 2 years now.
Yep. And that does it. Wow. We flew by the East. We took longer in the West, but
I think the thing is with the West is because we're both Western fans. We had our opinions, because we're both fans of Western Conference teams, so we had our opinions more well known and more setted, and we know the Western teams more. And then the East is just the East. It's always the same every year. The East is boring.
It's also because
it's the inferior conference. That's how I said it.
We were supposed to have Nick on today, but he has.
And we were supposed to have Jake on too.
Yeah, I know, but Thanksgiving week in Canada, so he's off having dinner. So it's just us two today. Yep. So maybe if we had Nick on, we would have got a bit more different opinions. But yeah, that does it for this episode of the Tundra Cast, and we'll see you guys next time.